Hey guys, this is Scott Payne from PM Master Prep again. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to succeed on the PMP exam day. Now, more specifically, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the exam day experience, and then I'm going to give you and I'm going to teach you a proven exam day battle plan that you're going to use to get an above target score. That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. So let's get started. All right. So before we jump into the battle plan, let's talk about the environment. What to expect when you show up on the day to take your exam. Now, the exam is not administered by PMI. It's administered by a third-party testing provider. It's usually Prometrics. So you go to a center, there's more people taking tests. It's not just PMI. A lot of people don't know that. But you go there, this is what they do full time. This is their job as their business. So you go to the environment and you take the test with them, and then they send the score to PMI, okay? So the first thing that I want you to know is you've got to know the location. I can't tell you how many times I dealt with students who don't know where they're going to take the test, and then on exam day, they have all this added stress of not being able to find it. So the first thing you need to know is know where the location is of the Prometric Center. And then the second thing, once you come in, it's a totally different environment. It's not like a normal class where people are talking or moving around. It's very, very controlled. I've never been to prison. I don't plan to go, but I imagine this is like a library at a prison, okay? So you come in a very positive way. You come in, you have a time, you check in with the attendant. It's all proctored, okay? And so they make sure that you're on the list. They check your IDs, so bring 2 forms of identification to check your IDs. They make you sign forms, and then they take everything out of your pocket when it's your time, and they check you down. Sometimes they pat you down. It's kind of like prison, like we said, right? But in a positive way. And they make you put everything that you have into a little bitty locker, and they give you a key, right? And so you walk in alone, just you, your brain, ready to take the test. So that's why we have to be very prepared beforehand, because it's a unique environment. And as we start to prepare, we got to realize that this sterile, test-taking, quiet environment is what we're walking into. So we want to do some state-based learning. That's why in this course, we're going to have you go to a library, go to a really quiet place, go to someplace where you're not comfortable, and take your simulator exams. It's going to simulate that environment so that when you walk in, you're ready to roll. Okay, so once you're in and you get your checked, you realize it's a very stale environment. There are other people taking maybe Series 7 tests or other types of tests there. You're not the only one. You just got to organize yourself for that. It's going to be okay. So once you get into the exam, obviously they've taken all your materials. You have nothing, like we said, just your brain and your confidence. And you walk in and they give you a piece of paper or a little baby notebook and a pencil. Sometimes they give you a white eraser board and a felt marker type thing. Variation exists between testing centers, but basically you want to understand that it's just you, the little bit of paper that they give you, and the computer. Okay. Now, when you sit down, you must go through the tutorial. They have a tutorial that teaches you how to use the actual test-taking software. So you're going to take the test-taking software, kind of like the simulator you're going to walk through with us. We try to model it exactly off what you're going to experience. And so it's going to walk you through step by step on what all the functions are, how do you click the buttons, how do you move things, how do you flag questions or strike things out. So take your time and go through that. Make sure you feel comfortable with the system and you know exactly what you're doing. This time does not count against your exam time. So it's kind of like your time just to go, hey, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to learn a little bit. I'm going to get comfortable. I'm going to adjust myself in the chair and get ready, set my mind, maybe do a little breathing, just get ready to roll. So you go through that and you do it. Okay, at any time, if you have to go to the bathroom or you run out of paper and you need new paper, you must acknowledge the attendee, the proctor in there, and say, hey, I need assistance. And then they come and they bring you more paper. They'll exchange the paper that you currently have, okay? And then if you have to go to the bathroom, you'll go through a whole process to go to the bathroom, where they'll check you out of the room. They'll make sure you don't have anything. They made me pull my pockets out of my jeans to make sure it looked like I didn't have anything in my pockets, I guess, and then go to the bathroom and then do the same thing when I came back. I don't have anything, like I'm in Vegas and I'm holding my hands up as a card dealer. I don't have anything. And so it's just to understand that this is a varied proctored environment. But that's just, it's actually kind of cool that it's good and it's secure. So you have that to look forward to. Now, okay, that's my experience that I'm telling you. What I've also done for you guys is I interview students every single day post-exam. And what I've done is I compiled a ton of great interviews of actual student experience. And I've gotten my best performing students to give interviews, and I put them into this product. It's called the Above Target Student Success Secrets product. And then it's videos on our site that you can go. If you don't have access to them, jump in and get access. And what you're going to do is you're going to hear the opinion of the actual students on what their experience was like. So they're all over the country and world. So they're going to have different testing centers, different days and times they took it. And then they're going to have different people telling you about their experience. So it's really, really cool to learn from them. Like, it's cool to learn from me and it's good information, but hearing the words from their mouths in very succinct, focused interviews is going to help you a ton. So go after this. Check out those interviews. We're going to throw a portion of one of those interviews at the end of this little lesson just to give you a taste of it. And then you go and check those interviews out. They're going to help you a ton. So the next thing we need to know is when I talk to all those students and when I teach and when we kind of like work through how to best prepare you for the exam day experience, the thing that we realize is that the best students have a plan, a battle plan we call it, is you have a plan for when you're going to go in and how you're going to take on the exam in a very positive way, guys. Okay, and so the first thing I want you guys to think about when you go into your exam, and we're going to teach you everything of how to do this, is you need to set your foundation. Okay, you go in there and there's a lot of questions to do and not a ton of time when you kind of break it out, but you need to set a foundation. And the thing that's cornerstone to this foundation is documenting your EVM template. I'm going to teach you my patented EVM template that I made that makes EVM problem solving very, very simple. Those are problems that bring people a lot of stress. There's not a ton of them in the exam, but they bring people a lot of stress and they can be a time sink. Okay, so we're going to document as soon as we get in there and finish our tutorial. We're going to document our EVM template. Just write it down nice and easy. It's something that we can accomplish and we put it to the side. And then we go and start taking exam questions. And we're going to have that template there. It's our safety blanket in a sense, our foundation that when we have problems, we can solve them. And that'll help us soon, and I'll teach you why. The second thing we want to do is, once we get into the actual questions, our goal for the first 20 to 25 questions is not to get them all right. Now, I'm not saying getting them wrong. I'm saying that our goal for the first 20 to 25 questions is to build momentum, problem-solving momentum. That is what is going to help you get more questions right on the exam. Momentum. So let's think through that. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So if you come out hard and try to answer questions and really stress yourself out, and if you say, I've got to answer the first 25 perfectly or I'm going to fail the exam, then you're going to spend a ton of time. A lot of the students, before they worked with us, said, oh man, one of the biggest problem was I spent so much time on the first couple of questions trying to get them all right that I couldn't get through all the rest of them. And when I was toward the end, I had to rush. So what we're trying to do now is just build momentum by answering questions that we feel are right. Things that pop in our brain that go, I know that's right. I know that's right. And so you're going to, if you go to a question and you feel it and you get it right, you go, bam, I answer it, then you move on. If there's another question that you don't feel confident about, you're going to look at the answers that are either right, or the ones that you know are obviously wrong, and you're going to scratch those out. They have a functionality in the system that allows you to strike out answers. So it puts a line through it. So you're going to say, I know this is wrong. And then you might be down to 3 answers. And if you still can't make a decision, you're going to flag it. We can do that in the simulator, my simulator. You'll flag the question and that'll say, hey, I'm going to come back later. So you're not going to lament over that. You're going to move to the next one. And what this is going to do, your brain is going to get formatted. We spend a lot of time getting the simulator questions to match what the PMP exam questions are, but sometimes exam day brings some added stress to us. So we have to let our brain kind of get normalized and formalized, and get ready to answer these questions. So the more questions that you answer and you get them right, your brain's gonna start aligning itself to say, hey, now I get some confidence. Now I know what's happening. Now I know the way in which they're asking these questions, and it's really, really gonna help you out. So, okay, first thing, set your foundation. Then build your momentum in the first 20 to 25 questions. And the next thing is maintain your marathon pace. Not a sprint, it's a marathon. So we're running kind of fast, but we're not sprinting, and we're gonna maintain this pace for the entire exam, that marathon pace that we talk about. And this is where I want to talk to you something I call the Scotadoro method. It's basically my method that I teach for how to administer the exam, how to take the exam from the student's perspective. And basically, you think about it, there's 4 hours, okay? So I want you to think of the exam as 8 30-minute chunks. And you're going to take each 30-minute chunk in itself. That's the way you're going to win this marathon, okay? So you're going to do 30 minutes, and then you're going to sit back, take a deep breath, stretch out a little bit, a couple seconds, kind of reflect on where you are, look at how many questions you are through, and make sure that you know the pace. So you want to be 1/8 through, 2/8 through, a quarter through after 2. After 4 of these, you want to be halfway through the questions, plus or minus. You just want to check your progress to see how am I doing against the pace. Now, why do I call it the Scotadoro method? Is because I came up with this method because I found a way to teach people how to be more successful in the exam. And then I learned after I did it that there's a guy named Pomodoro in Italy who came up with a method to say, hey, work on 25-minute chunks. Okay. So his name is Pomodoro. My name is Scott. So we combine them, Scotadoro method. But it's basically worked in 30-minute chunks to solve problems. That's going to help you solve more problems. And it's going to get you to know whether you're on pace or off pace quicker so that you can make adjustments. Okay, and so as we roll through. And the third thing is all of this stuff is defined in my book. It's called the PMP Exam Day Battle Plan. So you have access to the book if you're in the system, if you have the full course. If not, go on and get an ebook. It really lays this down in detail, very, very simple, so that you can prepare yourself to be ready on the exam day and use all these techniques. There's a couple extra ones thrown in there that'll really help you out. So go and check that book out. It's an easy, simple read. Okay, so I want to talk through some extra strategies so that you can get more questions right on the exam. That's our goal. So the first thing is, think about how I talk. Fast, usually, right? What I want you to do on the exam is I want you to slow down. Everybody runs really, really fast. This is a marathon. We have to develop a pace, and we have to read. Okay, a lot of these questions are tricky. That doesn't mean we can't answer them. It just means we have to be disciplined in how we read the questions. So we want to read the questions carefully, look for the words, those trip up words like not or isn't or something like that. And we want to read the last question or the last sentence first. So the key thing for getting questions right is to slow down and read. It's crazy how the obvious things are the most effective. So slow down and read. And then, like I said, let's work backwards. If you're having problems with questions, work backwards. Read the last line of the question. Read the answers. That frames up what they're asking for and what your options are. And then go back to the body of the question and read through that and say, oh, now I'm looking for facts that can help me answer this question. So working backwards helps a lot of students out. And then always decompose what is really being asked for in the question. They're going to throw a lot of superfluous or unnecessary information in there into the questions. And so your idea is not to get wrapped up in this whole situation that they're painting for you. It's to distill it down and decompose what are they really asking me for. Okay. And so in doing that, you're going to get to the grit and the details that you need to find to answer the questions quicker. Okay. And then you won't know, let's just be honest. You're not going to know the perfect answer for every question. It's just too many, and they make them fairly ambiguous and they make them difficult. So a lot of times you're going to get down to 2 answers that are and you try to pick the best one. But anytime we work through this, we want to work through the process of elimination to go from 4 answers down to 2 or 3. Every time you can eliminate an answer, you increase your odds of getting it right. Just basic stats, right? You got 1 of 3 versus 1 of 4. So our percentage went up from 25% up to 33%. And in some questions, you might have to take your best guess. Okay, so that's a process of elimination. And then the other thing is the cross out, flag out, move on technique. Okay, so this is what we're saying is as you go through and you're building momentum, we want you to cross out obviously wrong answers. Then we want you to flag the ones that you can't really get the best answer for. And then I want you to move on, build that momentum, and then come back and focus on those questions. Now, a lot of times our best guess first is the right answer. So we want to go with that. We want to be very diligent in how we change our answers that are already there. You don't want to go through all of them and then change a bunch of them. Stick with your gut, use your instincts, use the experience, and move forward. So cross out, flag, move on, and come back. And then we answer. All right, so we talked about EVM. Now, EVM, I can guarantee you, if you use my method, you will get every single EVM problem right. It is proven, it is simple, it is what you can use to get every problem right. Okay, and so what you need to do in this class is you need to master this EVM template. And we're gonna teach you how to do that very simply, couple minutes a day. You're gonna master this template so that you can use it on the exam and get every question right. This is what it looks like, very simple. You're gonna know how to populate that easily in a logical, simple way to populate it. You're going to learn how to, and it's going to make sense to you, and it's going to help you solve every single problem. I promise you. So to do that, we got to practice. We got to practice creating it. We got to practice solving with it. And once you do, you're going to see how it makes this problem solving process logical and very, very simple. And it's going to be your ace in the hole on the exam in terms of EVM. All right, and then to prepare you for that, I've also created an EVM attack course. So that is a focus course. You can see in the video, hey, it's me talking to you on that little screen. Then it's me teaching in an actual class. And then I have a book, ebook or physical book, where I teach the process. So it's very focused, very easy. You use that course to learn EVM. And so when you walk in, you can nail it, guys. Okay, and so when we get into the exam, we know this template. It makes sense to us. It's logical. Everything's good. We write down the template first. That's what we do. And so once we have the template first, we keep that copy clean. We never write in there. We never problem solve with that template. And then when we get another EVM problem, you know what we do? We recopy the template. It doesn't take very long. All it is recopying it. You don't have to memorize anything or remember anything. It's just recopying it. And that's our canvas to solve problems on, because this is an art. And then we work every EVM problem on that fresh sheet of paper. And we work it out. And I'll teach you how to do it. It's establishing where you got to go, what you have, and what the path is. It's a 3-step process. It's very easy. And we solve every problem using the template. We do not do math in our head. I'm a smart guy. You're a smart person. You can do math in your head, but we're not going to prove it to each other. We want to do it on paper. You have a calculator in the corner of your test taking simulator or the actual program you use. If you want to feel more comfortable using a normal calculator, which you hit the buttons, you can ask the proctor to say, hey, could I have a camera? A lot of the testing centers, not a camera, calculator. A lot of the testing centers will let you have an actual calculator that sits on the table. So that'll help out. But we want to do our work in the template. And so that's going to help us solve every problem. Those are some basic rules to guide us to getting more problems right on exam day. Okay, so additionally, we have to do everything we can to remove the stress of exam day and be prepared and follow our battle plan. That is my goal as a coach for you, is I got to help you remove the stress, be prepared, and follow the plan. All right, so the first thing we talked about was arrive early. Go a day before, make sure you know where it is, and then you have a time, so you have a 10:30 a.m. exam time. You want to arrive early. Be comfortable, be in comfortable clothes, be ready to take the exam, and then bring the information that you need. You need 2 forms of ID, guys. You can't show up there. They're not going to take your word for it that you're John Smith. You got to prove it. So bring those with you. Get there early, bring the requested ID, and then listen to the instructions. Let them guide you through the process. Listen to the proctor when she tells you or he tells you how to go into the exam, how to acknowledge her or him to say, hey, you have to use the bathroom, you need more paper. And then take that tutorial in the corner that's going to teach you how to use the system. Remember, it doesn't affect your time. Nice and easy. Use that time to maybe get more comfortable and then learn how to use the system so you can succeed. Okay, so learn the system and follow the battle plan. The battle plan is defined in the book that we have online, and then we go deeper. And so that is what you want to do. All right, so start preparing today. We've got to start preparing today. You've got to go into the exam day battle plan document that we have in there, review it, and embrace it. So leverage the proven plan. Read the ebook, it's very quick, and follow the steps defined. We've already talked through them, but it's going to walk you through them in a way in which you can practice and you can prepare and you can actually walk in with a template, a piece of paper in your mind that guides you through how you're going to solve it. And then what you also want to do is I want you to learn from real life student experiences. So watch the videos in the Above Target Student Success Secrets video series up there. Watch it. You're going to learn a lot about how they approached the test, how they felt while they took the test, what they should have done or shouldn't have done, what worked, what didn't work. All have different perspective, all have different things to teach you. You're going to learn a ton. It's just a totally different way to get the information in. So that's a good way to break up your studying, to watch what other people are saying, and watch them multiple times. So I've taught you everything you need to know to prepare for exam day. There's going to be one more video that you watch. It's from the Above Target Student Success Secrets video series. It's a student teaching you their perspective, just a snippet of it, and it's going to teach you some really great lessons. And if you want to check out more videos, I recommend strongly that you go check out the video series. You must go into the PMP Exam Day Battle Plan book, start defining your own battle plan follow-up process, because on exam day, you're going to be ready and you're going to succeed.